in mining, they used to take these little canaries in a cage, and then when the canaries collapsed off their perch, the miners would know, get out. And the North and South Poles are our canaries on the planet.
30 years ago, Robert Swan became the first person in history to walk to the North and to the South Pole. And the damage that he saw there from climate change convinced him that it was up to us to make a change for the future. Since then, he's traveled around the world, meeting people one-on-one and convincing them to make small, sustainable changes that can make a huge impact on their local community.
So if anybody says, well, I wonder if global warming's happening, try walking to the North Pole and you'll have to swim.
This year, Rob and his son Barney brought more than 80 people from 27 countries to see the Arctic's rapidly melting ice firsthand and to inspire them to bring that urgency back home. I was able to tag along to learn more about the Arctic myself and meet these incredible, everyday people who took time off work or spent months raising money to be here.
This is it, we're heading north on the National Geographic Explorer, great group of people. It's all about solutions. That's what we're here for, climate solutions.
Ready for action, let's get on with it.
Roughly 5,000 people applied for this year's Arctic trip, and only 86 were accepted. The participants who were accepted and able to raise the money needed ranged in ages, jobs, genders, and environmental impact.
I don't choose people to come here because they're environmentalists. I choose people to come here to go away as better leaders.
To make the biggest impact, Rob and his team brought the group to the Norwegian archipelago, or collection of islands, Svalbard. Norway is one of 8 countries that overlap the Arctic Circle, making it one of the first countries to feel the impact of the North Pole's changing climate.
Come to the side a bit.
I'm feeling so excited, finally get to go on the outside and see actually what's happening, what we are all talking about for so long, the actual effects of climate change.
I'm very excited to go. I cannot wait to experience this for the very first time.
I was expecting colder weather, really.
Yeah, it's really, I mean,
it's like New York in the spring.
Every day we do these excursions to land. We go to landings in Svalbard, and I expected pure ice, pure snow, and I'm sweating. I'm pulling off my layers, and it's grassy and spongy and boggy, so it's definitely not what I expected. In the last 5 decades, Svalbard's temperatures have increased roughly 40 degrees Fahrenheit. It's a change that staff on the ship say they've seen firsthand.
When I first started 30 years ago, we would not be able to go around to the east side of Svalbard in some years because the pack ice was so extensive. Reality is that in the summer, 10, 15 years from now, there will be no pack ice. It'll freeze during the winter, then disappear during the summer. That's going to have a huge impact on the entire ecosystem. But given enough time, if we don't change what we're doing, then there's not even going to be pack ice during the winter. So things have to change soon. Because it's going to be hard to stop what is starting to happen or has been happening over the last 50 years or so.
In the summer of 2019, researchers found more than 200 dead reindeer on Svalbard. The leading theory was that a heavier rainfall than usual in December froze the ground, making it harder for the reindeer to forage for food, and they all starved. And experts speculate changing temperatures could have an impact on the behavior of Svalbard's marine life. For example, melting ice could be opening up more areas for feeding.
So we are looking at a bowhead whale right now. We have naturalists that have been coming to the Arctic for the last 20 years, and this is the first time they've ever seen them in Svalbard, so pretty significant sighting.
What's extraordinary, that it is the 30th anniversary only a few weeks ago of us reaching the North Pole. 30 years ago we made that journey. Now you cannot walk to the North Pole in summer because there's no ice.
In 2018, to raise awareness about sustainability, Rob and Barney attempted to walk to the South Pole using only clean, renewable energy. A hip injury forced Rob to turn back, but Barney continued on and became the first person to finish an expedition to the pole on clean energy. Afterwards, Barney launched Climate Force, an initiative to reduce 360 million tons of carbon by 2025 through carbon offsetting and reduction.
I really don't want Climate Force to be something that is only privy to those who have money. There's so much impact that can be cleaned up, and just like a kid who makes a mess in his room, you know, our convenience and our luxury and our travel and our beautiful Instagrams with all of these pretty photos do come at a cost that we don't necessarily see. I'm really just trying to disrupt that and make people feel hopeful and inspired that they can have a responsibility to not only have awareness of their footprint, but to reduce it and to directly offset it.
One way Barney encouraged the participants to be optimistic about the future was by brainstorming ideas with them on how to make a concrete impact when they return home.
Okay, maybe we should do something specific for business, or maybe student urban life.
I just used less plastic. I just started using incrementally less and less plastic for the entire time I was there. Because it's hard when you don't have control over what you're eating or what they're serving you. And you don't have control over what your roommates are doing, like how much electricity or whatever they're using.
Instead of being like lecturing everyone about how much carbon comes from beef, you know, instead like hero vegetables. So if you do like maize, it would be fun because all of India is freaking out about mangoes, all of Europe's freaking out because strawberries and all the berries are coming to the market, right?
You can offer these as general daily hack sort of things, or you can be a part of a challenge that makes you do it for a year.
At least 340 tons of carbon were emitted during our trip, and that's just including the gas that our ship and Zodiacs used. To encourage carbon neutrality, Climate Force offset the team's share of emissions by investing in green programs around the world. And Rob spent time every morning making videos for the team members to take back home, as souvenirs, but also promises to make an impact when the trip is done.
Personally, the plastic pollution and the environmental education are my biggest concerns.
Right.
Yeah, I'm gonna deal with these tough issues when I'm back to Macau.
One thing that I've really taken away from these last few days and looking forward to while we're here is looking at innovative solutions and really some advice, the same type of advice that we bring to our clients.
And it's so important that you go home empowered with this great story, which people love, and raise that up the agenda. Because I don't think you need to be rich to be green. You don't have to be, coming from the United States or some big fancy country. Your country can show leadership on how to do that, and you've got to get it going.
In the past, alums of these expeditions have used the momentum of the trip to create incredible works of art or campaigns for good. After visiting Antarctica in 2012, Paras Lumba created the Global Himalayan Expedition, which is working to bring renewable energy to 1 billion people still without electricity in the world. And Singaporean singer Inch created an hour-long show with original music, written about her experiences there in 2018. The hope is that the people in this group, like those in the past, were able to identify the climate challenges specific to their home and figure out ways to tackle them head-on back home.
My mission is to raise awareness to especially young kids, which is why I'm working on a children's storybook to actually promote this message and get them to have these healthy habits of caring for our environment from a really young age.
The very first thing that I'll do is try to make my university plastic free.
I've been sketching quite a bit, so I will definitely be sharing my notes in a very visual way. I think art is a way to connect to people. I think through personal stories that they can relate, we can share this better, create more awareness to even children as well.
When the great cathedrals were built in my country and in France, the people who started building those cathedrals and planned them never saw them finished, because it took so long to build them that they were dead. So I think that we need to have that mentality more of not always saying, well, we've got to see the results, let's have immediate stuff. And it's very, very sad in life how quickly it goes, but in the not too distant future, these young people will become old people. But what's really cool about this story, and I know it, that they'll still be talking about some of it then.